What would you feel if a character from your last painting suddenly came to life and appeared right in front of you? Or if you were given a power through your spray paint that could turn your whole life upside down? The story of the film we're going to watch today also flows around such unbelievable events. The main character of this story is a normal boy named Max, who is trying to escape from the school bullies while drawing his paintings alone. However, he has an amazing talent for drawing. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, two scientists, Alex and Sky, are working on creating a nanorobot that can change the whole world. But this is not just any robot, it's a gadget with an extremely advanced artificial intelligence, AI, capable of performing any task. However, just like with every super invention, the leader of the city's most dangerous crime gang, Myron, has his eyes on it. So, he wants to use this nanorobot to hack the entire stock market and thousands of bank accounts. So, as these three individuals are going about their own lives without any connection to each other, destiny brings their stories together and intertwines them at the same place. What happens next? Keep listening. The story begins on an ordinary day for our protagonist, Max. He wakes up to the sound of his mother's voice, and even before he gets out of bed, he hears her talking about getting a dog as a pet. However, his mother has no intention of getting a dog for a boy who can't even keep his own room tidy. Anyway, we are shown Max's journey to school. However, that day is not a good one for Max. On his way to class, the class bully, a boy named Dean, trips Max, causing him to fall. As this event unfolds, we are shown Alex and his assistant, Sky, who are at a laboratory across town, giving a presentation about their latest invention. This is the nanorobot prototype I mentioned earlier. The investors, who are impressed by this tiny robotic technology that can help people with any task, are willing to provide a large sum of money to further develop the project. However, this good news doesn't take long to spread. The news reaches the ears of a crime lord named Myron. This tall, stout man is Myron. At this moment, his apprentice explains how much power he can gain from the capabilities of this nanorobot. Myron, excited about the power he is about to receive, calls his most skilled agent, Gecko, and assigns him the mission of retrieving the robot. Then, we are shown our nerdy boy, Max, again. He is watching his crush, Sonia, rehearsing for a play on the school stage. He is drawing a beautiful picture of her in his notebook. Suddenly, Dean and his gang emerge from under the stage. They pull Max under the stage. We then see that all this time, Max had been drawing a picture of Sonia in his notebook. This makes Dean angry because Dean also has a crush on Sonia. Dean thinks he should teach Max a lesson. Then, the three of them give a ring to Max and jump down to the basement and run away. At the same time, a small explosion occurs. The teacher, who is scared by the sound, comes to see what's happening and sees Max coming out from under the stage. The teacher, thinking that Max is responsible for the explosion, sends him straight to the principal's office. Meanwhile, we are shown Sonia finding the picture Max had drawn that was torn into small pieces by Dean. After this incident, when Max returns home, he gets scolded by his mother for not tidying his room. Then, we are shown that after his mother leaves, Max secretly sneaks out of the house. At that very moment, Myron's agent, Gecko, enters the lab. At this moment, like a true spy, he uses his tools to climb up the building, cuts a window, and enters. We are then shown that he is crawling along the wall like Spider-Man. He then avoids the security laser grid and uses a grappling hook with his name on it to turn the camera and disable it. Then, slowly, Gecko approaches the cubicle where the nanorobots are kept. He connects his decoder to the control panel, but a security guard comes unexpectedly. However, Gecko manages to hide without getting caught. But at that moment, the decoder makes a sound, and the cubicle opens, causing the guard to come toward him. Gecko acts quickly. He jumps on the guard and manages to push him down, but he can't stop the alarm from going off. So, Gecko quickly grabs the cylinder with the nanorobots and starts running, trying to find a way out of the building. With this event, we are shown Max, who has run away from home. At this moment, the boy is under a bridge, listening to his favorite song and drawing graffiti on the walls. That is, a picture drawn on the wall using spray paint. Then, we are shown Gecko again, who is running away from the security guards. He somehow escapes from the guards and runs onto the bridge. However, they manage to surround Gecko there. Acting very quickly, Gecko uses only his flashlight to knock down all the guards. So, after beating them up, Gecko manages to escape. However, he still doesn't know that during this fight, the cylinder with the nanorobots he stole fell from the bridge. At that moment, the turning point of the story occurs. We are shown Max, who is drawing graffiti a few feet below the bridge, finding the fallen cylinder. Thinking this is a new type of spray paint, Max takes it in his hands out of curiosity. Meanwhile, Gecko, who has defeated all the guards on the bridge, uses his tactical gear to crawl and escape without getting caught. At this moment, Max, who is eager to see how the new spray works, starts drawing a picture on the wall. We are then shown Max being surprised to see that he is drawing a complex picture on the wall without any effort. But the problem is, the tin with the nanorobots quickly runs out. So, Max throws the empty cylinder aside. At that moment, Gecko, who arrives there, picks up the cylinder and says to Max's graffiti that it's beautiful. Then, Max also leaves. Then, we are shown that after a few seconds, something unexpected happens. The cartoon dog Max was drawing comes to life and jumps out of the wall. At the same time, all the graffiti nanorobots gather and transform into a cybernetic dog. With this, we are shown Gecko again. Gecko meets his lord, Myron, and gives him the cylinder. However, when they see that there are no nanorobots inside, Myron's mind gets messed up. Meanwhile, we are shown the robot dog following Max, who is on his way home. At this moment, as Max is going up a staircase, the dog follows him and bumps into a garbage can. As the garbage can falls, Max, who is wondering what the noise was, turns around. We see that the dog has invisibility powers. This means that at this moment, the dog is invisible and can't be seen by our Max. Thinking a criminal is following him, gets scared and runs all the way home. The next day, we see Gecko back at the lab he jumped into the previous day to pick up the nanobots. At this moment, police investigators have arrived at the lab and are examining it, while Alex is alone, walking around the whole place, trying to figure out how the robbery happened. At this moment, an assistant comes to him and says that all the guards who were protecting the nanobots have been beaten up badly. Alex gets angry and says that no one knows his nanobots better than him, so he will find them himself. At that moment, we see Gecko returning to the place where the graffiti was and looking for the boy he met the previous night. At this moment, he sees that the drawing Max had drawn is no longer on the wall. The next day, we also see Max going back to school. And with him, the nanobot dog is following him invisibly. So after they arrive at school, as usual, Denny and his gang start harassing Max. At this moment, they knock Max down and leave. Max, who is angry and picking up the things that fell on the ground, sees that his pencil case is suddenly floating in the air. At that moment, the pencil case flies away and hits Denny on the head. So Denny thinks that Max hit him with the pencil case. So Denny turns back and is about to hit Max. But at this moment, to everyone's surprise, Max's backpack comes to life. With its help, Max starts to dodge their attacks in a very strange way. Then, all of a sudden, the backpack comes off his back and helps Max by using super fighting techniques to beat up the gang. So, for the first time, Max gets a chance to express the anger he had inside him. And with that, we see Sonia watching everything that happened from nearby in surprise. Then the scene cuts back to the lab. At this moment, Alex is looking at the security camera footage from there. He is surprised when he sees Gecko's fighting style, who jumped into the lab the night before. At this moment, he jokingly says that he should hire this boy as his security advisor. After that, Alex gets his pulse neutralizer gadget ready. With the electromagnetic waves released from it, he can temporarily deactivate the nanobots and get them back. A little while later, we see Max again. At this moment, he is at a bookstore, looking at the things on the shelves. But the boy doesn't know that the dog has followed him. At this moment, Max is sad because he doesn't have any money in his hand to buy anything. The shop owner comes to him and asks if he wants to buy anything. But even before he gets close, the invisible dog, like a mischievous boy, breaks a packet of balls. At this moment, the balls fall on the ground, causing the shop owner to slip and fall. Not only that, but at this moment, his pants also come off. So in the end, what happens to the man is that he is lying on the ground, pulling his pants back up. So with what just happened, Max gets a chance to get away from there. With this commotion, an alert about nanobot activity comes to Alex's device, who is about to leave from there. So we see that he quickly leaves for this place. Alex, who goes to the shop Max was in, asks for the shop owner's security camera footage. But when he finds out that Alex is not from any investigation agency, the shopkeeper says that he can't give him any information. So we see that at this moment, Alex uses his technical bracelet to secretly copy the footage. A few minutes later, we see Max is back at the place where he drew the graffiti. So when he goes there, he sees that the drawing of the dog he drew the previous day is not there. All of a sudden, the robot dog comes there, scaring Max. At this moment, the dog starts talking to Max normally. Max, who can't figure out what this colorful dog is very scared at this moment. So as soon as Max falls on the ground, the dog scans him and says that his adrenaline level is very high and that he should do some breathing exercises. But even after saying this, Max, who is still very scared, says, "Don't come near me," and starts to run away from here. Then he comes home and lies on his bed, thinking about what happened. All of a sudden, the dog appears in front of Max again. While Max is wondering how it came into the house without him seeing it, the dog explains that it is a microscopic nanobot collection that can do anything its creator tells it to. So at this moment, when Max asks why it is following him, the dog says that it was created because Max used that cylinder as a graffiti spray. That's when Max realizes that it was the one that helped him beat up Denny and his gang at school. So at this moment, Max starts scolding the dog because now Denny is after him again. And with that, Max, who thinks whatever happens, goes to his computer. As soon as he turns it on, he sees that there is a big citywide art competition. And also, the winner gets a chance to go to a famous course. But Max, who thinks he has no chance of winning such a competition, decides not to participate by changing his mind. Then the scene cuts and we see Alex again. In the evening, while he is in his car, watching the security camera footage, he gets another alert about nanobot activity. In the meantime, we see that the robot dog in Max's room is analyzing all of Max's drawings and is registering these drawings under Max's name on the competition website. So without his knowledge, a new beginning has come to Max's life. From there, we will see where the story goes. Then the next day, we see Gecko has come back to the place where the graffiti was. At this moment, he starts asking everyone there about the boy. But after everyone there says that they haven't seen Max, the hope of finding him is slowly going away from Gecko. In the meantime, we see that Max is at home, talking to his new friend, the technical dog. At that moment, the dog reveals another one of its abilities. It shows that it can change its appearance and become invisible at any time. At this moment, Max, who is surprised by his new robot friend's abilities, decides to go for a walk in the park. But at this moment, he tells the dog to keep its mouth shut so that no one knows it can talk. As soon as he hears this, the dog creates a wireless headset with its technology and gives it to Max. Because of this, now both of them can talk to each other without anyone knowing. At that moment, Alex also comes to this park. As soon as he sees these two, he starts to record a video of this strange dog. So as they are walking and talking, they meet Sonia, who has come to the park. And with that, she sees the dog next to Max and asks what the new pet's name is while petting it. At that moment, Max, who can't think of an answer, quickly says its name is Fox. So while these two are talking, Sonia's friend calls her during the conversation. That's when Sonia